For the night. Had a long day, but I definitely wanted to get in here and have this discussion with y'all. And today's discussion will be on creative connection. Making the creative connection. This is for those that are entrepreneurs, artists, songwriters, poets. This is for those that are trying to find creativity, even if they feel as though they're not a creative person. Even the person that's on the everyday job, the rapper, the MC, the inspiring singer, R&B artist. This is on the premise of finding your creativity and finding a good flow, and I will be breaking down 5 ways to capture a good creative flow. And why it's important to stay in a creative flow is because the creativity stimulates the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is in front of the brain, and creativity keeps us out of depression. There's a lot of us that are going through anxiety and depression and chemical imbalance within the limbic system. And a part of this is because we're not being creative enough. And some of us believe that we're not creative people. But I'm going to have a discussion. We're going to have a discussion today on how creativity can be a learned behavior, and also how to catch that creative flow to put you in a state of harmony and blissful peace. All right, so let's get right into it. Peace to the family too, man. Peace everybody tuning in that's in with me. I hope this helps my creators and my inspiring, like I said, artists, entrepreneurs, business owners that are plotting, planning, energy workers, light workers, everybody that is that will impress in the subconscious mind, that will take care of their family off of their creative abilities. We give praises to the Creator only to become creators ourselves. So let's begin the discussion. So I'm going to be referring here to a map, or I should say an infographic that I created, that it will be downloadable on the YouTube video. If y'all want to check it out, y'all can get that for free on a PDF. So we're going to start off with 5 ways to find a creative flow. And the first one that I want to talk about is, like I mentioned before, creativity is a learned behavior. Being creative should not make you feel pressured. Just take what you enjoy doing and add your innovative methods to it. Now, this is very important because when you're creating, you want to be confident in your philosophy. This is your own philosophy. Never be fearful of what it is that you feel in your heartfulness that brings you joy. If this what you're taking what brings you joy and bliss and puts you in a state of peace, and you're just sharing it. If you choose to, if you're ready to. But let's not be selfish in understanding that when you self-share, you could be affecting somebody and impacting somebody that you never met before. So it'll be a disservice to humanity if you do not share. But we'll get to that later on the infographic. So you don't want to feel pressure in your creativity. Creativity, that's why we said creativity is a flow. The flow state that you want to get with your creativity comes from your ability to have mental focus on what it is that you want to bring forth within your artistry and within the way that you want to express yourself. Expressing yourself is the key, because when we express ourselves, we find out new things about ourselves. And we find new things about ourselves, we find new methods to do these things. Turning, not only in creativity are you creating or being a creator, you're also an innovator, you're also an inventor, you're a reinventor, you're constantly redirecting, rebranding. And this is what brings out the holy and godly attributes out of yourself. So if you feel as though you're not a creative person so much, but you are a creative person by way of impressing the subconscious mind and telling yourself like, hey, listen, I might not believe that I am the most creative person. Why? Because I'm comparing myself to other people, but this is my philosophy. This is how I express it myself, and this is how I'm going to go about doing my creative actions. This is how you reach creative ascension. Now, you have to have faith in yourself in the sense of you being able to learn how to be creative. And I say a learned behavior because people think that they're not creative, but on a daily basis, you're constantly creating within your own existence. You're creating different ways to get from point A to point B. It might seem like the same path, but it's not. It might seem like to you like, oh, I'm just doing the same thing. I don't feel like I'm creating anything different by going on the same path when I'm clocking in and out of work, or when I'm waking up in the morning going to work, or when I'm robotic at work. But you're at your job for the information. You're not at your, being present and mindful at your job is more than you just doing the job. It's you paying attention to the system. How does the system work? What information can you take from the job to implement in your own life or your own philosophy, if you even have one? And this is where your creativity starts, because you realize like, wow, I don't even have a starting point within my creativity. And this is how you get it to be a learned behavior, being more aware of the methods and how you can create and find the flow within your daily life. This is very important, I said too, for when it comes to depression and other issues that we're dealing with on a daily basis, just dealing with life. Creativity is said scientifically and clinically to make us feel better than actual sexual intercourse. Now, when you're bringing forth something new, from your own genius, from your own brilliance and own methods, this puts you in a place of pure self-confidence and belief in self. Creativity, remember, is a learned behavior. If you feel like you're not a creative person, you're constantly creating with your existence anyway. You just have to become aware of this, understanding like, oh, wow, I did create this different way of doing the worship. I was different from this other person that did this spreadsheet this way, but I came up with a different method to do it this way, and it was totally fine. I am a divergent thinker. Divergent thinking comes out of creativity, or vice versa. Creativity comes out of divergent thinking. Different methods of how to solve problems. Finding different ways to be a solutionist. All right, that's another good way to find a creative flow. That's the first, number one. Creativity is a learned behavior. So let's go down. Let's go down a little bit. See. Number two, and 5 ways to finding a creative flow. Finding a new you discovers new ways. The more inner work you do, the more creative you become. Now, this is very important. I find one of the reasons why people feel like they're not creative is because they're not doing a lot of self-work. The more self-work that you do, the more that you'll find how creative you are. Why is that? Why is that the more self and shadow work that we do, we find out more creative attributes about ourselves. We find more intuitive creations that come to us out of nowhere. These thought patterns start to change. And it's because you're discovering new things about yourself that you never even knew before. This is the self-discovery that you go through within doing the self-work. Within doing the self-work, you find a place where you can go and you can be innovative within that place, and it's your peaceful place. It's your self-sanctuary. You're there, you're comfortable. You might not be comfortable with sharing it with people yet, and that's fine, because you're going to find new confidence within your newfound self with you finding new ways. You find a new you. So I'm gonna tell you a little story. So my sister, she went through a transmutation of self-alchemy within herself, to where she was trying to find herself financially, and she discovered new skills within herself by doing self-work, new things that she never even knew about herself, and it came out of her doing the self-work by way of art. So now my sister paints art. She never knew that she could even paint or do art, or was even interested in doing art, until she began to work on herself. The inner workings brought her into discovering a new way to be creative, a new outlet, a new ventilation system. Okay, so the self-work is very important. The inward path will get you to the inventive path. The inward path equals the inventive path. The inventive path puts you on the inward path. It goes both ways and vice versa. They coincide with each other, because this is how you're going to find new ways about yourself. When you're finding new things and new ways about yourself, you're going to discover new innovative ways and methods to be a divergent thinker in your working and in your daily existence in life. This is how it goes when you're trying to find the creative flow. Now, this is on the premise of understanding yourself, understanding what are your most valuable skills, what are your most valuable talents, and developing those things into skill. Not holding back, not saying to yourself like, I'm not creative, but understanding like, I am gonna discover my creativity. The subconscious mind shadow work. Now let's go down. Number 3 out of the 5 ways of finding creative flow. Use integration along with flow-based momentum. The 3I strategy that I emphasized in my YouTube, and y'all can go check that. I'll leave the link in my YouTube video for the 3I strategy within business for my entrepreneurs. The 3I strategy emphasizes integration. Get your kids or loved ones closest to you involved, if you can, as we get consumed in our work as creators. So when you're creating and you're in a deep mental focus, and this is one of the, by way of the 5 a.m. club, he talks about mental focus being one of the 5 assets of success. One of the five assets of success is mental focus. So integration, what does that mean with integration when we're dealing along with our creativity? As an entrepreneur on this entrepreneur journey, I'm constantly being inventive and innovative and trying new things and throwing it out there and being fearless in my failures, because I know that it's with every failure comes success as long as I learn from it. So I emphasize on the integration because I get very consumed in my work, because not only is the creative flow going to get me in a self-discovery place, but it's also going to keep me out of depression, anxiety, paranoia, and trauma. So I stay in that place. And it's a blissful place for me. Y'all hear me talk a lot about being on my own mind's island. I created I created an island in my own mind to be able to go to by myself, but everybody is welcome. Sometimes it gets lonely because you get so consumed in your ideas and these new thought patterns, lonesome because you get consumed in these thought patterns and these ideas and these new ways, and your neurotransmitters and your neurons in your brain, they're working differently. You're finding new things about yourself, so you're consumed in your work, and it's keeping you in a happy place, in a blissful place. The serotonin is going well. Your limbic system is alert. You're attentive. You're present. Your mental clarity is on point, and you're just in it. But ascending mentally and spiritually, we can get in a real recluse and seclusion way of life and living, and then our loved ones might feel rejected. We don't want that. So what I did, I just released a piece that I dedicated to Interstellar, a tribute to Interstellar. You can check that on my website, Supreme Wellbeing website. And what I did is I integrated with that. I used one of the I's out of the 3 I strategy with integration with my son. I got my son into content creation, so I got him to use the camera and the iPhone, and I had him doing certain shots and angles, being creative, letting him use his own instinct and his own intuitive abilities to see which one would go here, which one would go there, and if he had any input. And if he didn't have any input, I would suggest to him, like, hey, you can put your input in this. That's why I have you here. What do you think look good? How do you think I should do this? So I got him involved with my creative entrepreneurship. So he can kind of see like, oh, okay, everything relates. Everything is connected to my father's brand. So in order for me to keep the momentum and the flow of the creativity that I had, I knew that I had my son. So I said, hey, come on with me. Let me include you. Everything is inclusive on this path. Everything is inclusive with your creative flow. Your existence is your creative flow. Understand that you don't want to lose your momentum, so you have to use your integration. Okay? Let's go to the 4th one. This is a good one. 5 ways of finding the creative flow. Number 4, be free, not perfect. It's okay to share your work to the world when you're ready. Just remember, it will inspire, encourage, and motivate others. There's beauty in bravery and imperfections. That's a good one. A lot of us want to be perfectionists when it comes to our art, when it comes to sharing, when it comes to us being open in our creativity. When in all actuality, some of us are more creative than what we think, and people are waiting on us. You have to be free within yourself. How do you find that freedom? You find that freedom by expressing, even if it's with your own self, even if it's just journaling, and you keeping it to yourself, and you burning, or whatever it is that you do, you're expressing, you're creating a ventilation system for yourself. So your prefrontal cortex is getting activated because now you're creating a place where you can take your thoughts and you can channel your thoughts and be free. Now, the reason why you might not share them, and most of the time, is for people because they feel like it's not perfected. They're perfectionists. It's not the way, all the way that they want it, or they don't want people to see it because the people might judge them. But the validation comes from within. Be free. Like I was telling you about the Interstellar tribute. Everybody hasn't seen Interstellar. Some people think I'm speaking literally Hebrew. They don't understand what I'm saying. They don't understand the message or the layers of how I painted the picture with the art. But I'm free within my creative ascension. I'm free within my creative intuition. So with me doing that, it shows how free spirited I am and confident in what it is that how I want to express, and it's for who it's for, by way of inspiration and inspiring them to be brave within their expression. Okay, so this is what it's about. We need more people to be creative and express themselves. Believe me when I tell you, the more creative we become, the more wealthy we will become. Okay? The more creative we become, the more wealthy we will become. I'm going to say that again. The more creative we become, the more wealthy we become. And some of us don't understand that for you to become wealthy, it comes from the word well. So when you're expressing, you're becoming well. A lot of us associate being wealthy with materialistic gain on the 3-dimensional scene, but we're talking about wealthy, being well within self, being well within thought, being well within mind. Okay? So don't think perfection, think freedom, think liberation, think about others and be brave and to self-share. Wealthy is you self-sharing. I've seen people make tons of money off self-sharing, and that's not even what their goal was. They detached from that. They actually just wanted to find a place where they can service people, help people with their experience, and it took them to a whole nother level. Be free, not perfect. Be free, not perfect. Perfection is in the eyes of the beholder. The imperfections is beauty. It's beauty in the collateral damage. Collateral beauty is beauty in that. It's beauty in the off, and when it's off a little bit, or when it's rough around the edges, when it's raw and organic. People feel that. I pride myself in that. I pride myself in being raw, organic, and natural, because I know that's what the people like. I know the people know it's real. They know it's authentic. They know nothing's staged. Everything is raw, you know? So don't feel like everything has to be perfect. Just come from the heart. Come from your heart chakra. Have heartfulness with everything that you do. You know what I'm saying? Reveal the hidden reality within. It can help somebody that you never even met. The light worker always succeeds. Okay, last one. I ain't gonna keep y'all too long. 5, focus on your most valuable skills. When you're trying to find when you're finding the creative flow, when you're finding, that's right, Naomi, the organic and natural from the heart never fails you. You know how many times I've been in the speaking engagements and I went totally off my notes, and I just came from the heart because I felt the energy of the crowd of the people that were there. I'm like, hey, you know what? This what I have prepared. This not what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do none of this. I'm not gonna say none of this because this is ultimately not gonna help them. I'm here to help. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna speak from the heart. And I'm going to express myself from the heart so they can really feel it, so they can know that it's real and it's authentic. That's what I'm going to do. You understand what I'm saying? So the going organic and natural, it feeds your creativity because it forces you to come from the heart. It forces you to come from a place that you never could come before. It's power and vulnerability when you come from the heart. See, people are afraid to express themselves. Maybe of rejection. Maybe they were the lost voice in the family. Maybe they never felt like they were heard, right? But when we overcome these traumas, this is when we become. This is when we start become. Think when a person overcomes that trauma of not being heard. They overcome that trauma of not being heard, and now their throat chakra is beaming. They're talking about, they can talk, they know they've been heard. Now, and they sit back and they reflect and they say, wow, look at where I came from. Look at where I came from. I literally came from a place where I felt like I was never heard. Now I'm speaking without any fear in front of people, and they hear me and they accept it, and I'm impacting them. Takes you to the whole next level. Open up your heart chakra with meditation and gratitude. Open up your heart chakra with meditation and gratitude. Your communication will change. Your conscious and your subconscious will meet in the lumen, which is your body, which will show out through your flow of how you communicate. Okay? 5, focus on your most valuable skills. Back to that, not to get off topic. Sorry. See, Naomi, you got me going. All right. So focus on your developed talent. It will keep you engaged with solution-based thinking. Divergent thinking, giving you self-confidence, knowing your gift can impact people. Okay, so today I was asking myself a lot today, and we'll end it off here. I was asking myself a lot today, like, oh, what is your most valuable skill? And I realized something. I realized I have a lot of skills, but my most valuable skill will cost me the most work. My most valuable skill will cost me the most work. That's what I said to myself. Now, I'm not scared of hard work. But my goal is to work smarter, not harder. More strategic, so I can not trade as much time in work, and I can spend more time with my family and the things that I love to do and enjoy doing, and have a system set up to where I don't have to necessarily pour all of my being into work all the time. You don't want to trade your job into entrepreneurship just to work another 70 hours a week. You don't want to, you want this to be a system, be able to work itself, and for you to be able to become an asset, so you attract money to you rather than chasing it, right? So I go into divergent thinking mode, and I say, well, how can I make it less work? How can I turn it into a system that helps people, that keeps my work level low but efficient? You see how I changed my thought patterns around my most valuable skill? Because your most valuable skill might cause you to do some work. Not only do you have to work and beat on the skill, but you also have to work in what it is that how you want to move forward with your most valuable skill. Right? So your most valuable skill is the focus when it comes to being innovative and creative and catching a flow. That's why it's important to catch the creative flow when discovering your skills. What is the best way to come into your skills and come into your flow and come into your purpose? Is to exercise your gifts. If you don't know what your skills are, exercise your gifts. They'll quickly find you. If you don't know what your purpose is, exercise your gifts. They'll quickly find you. I talk about this in my book, A Step-by-Step Guide to Improving Self-Discipline. You can find that on Amazon and on my website, www.mysupremewellbeing.com. Exercise your gifts and your skills in your purpose, and you'll find purpose. Exercise your gifts and your skills, and you'll find purpose. Within that process, what makes it easier in the cheat code and the formula is the creative flow. It's the creative flow. Number one, creativity is a learned behavior. Number two, finding a new you, discovering new ways. Number three, use integration along with flow-based momentum. And if people want to reference back to my 3I strategy on my YouTube, I have a 3I strategy on YouTube. I can leave the link in the YouTube. In the future, I'll post it up in the group so people can check that out for all my entrepreneurs, inspired entrepreneurs, contract workers, or innovators, inventors, IT workers, people that need to catch a flow to be able in what they love to do. Even because sometimes even we might love to do something, or we could be in our head, and the mental chatter could be so thick it keeps us from doing what we love to do. We have to fight through our thoughts. The creative flow makes your thoughts fight for you. Be free, not perfect. Number 4, be free, not perfect. Number 5, focus on your most valuable skills. Okay, family. I'm going to leave y'all with this. With the 5 ways to build a creative flow. I appreciate y'all being in here with me tonight. And I just wanted to say I have a lot of gratitude for everybody that's been engaging in the group. I have a lot of gratitude for everybody that's been on my YouTube page, paying attention, and then just becoming the better, superior versions of ourselves. If you have a goal, get to it. If you are just being free and just being, I salute you, because just being is so freeing. Just existing and sitting in that and reflecting on life and being grateful, this is going to lead you on the path to your destiny, to your purpose. It's okay. All right. Peace and wellness to the family. I hope this discussion helped. And on the premise of this discussion, if you need any more information or one-on-one coaching, go to www.mysupremewellbeing.com. Contact me there. Also, my pen site is up in the group as well. If anybody's interested in doing one-on-one consultations about holistic health, subconscious mind training, I will start doing the subconscious mind training and the holistic health coaching. It's up on my pen site for you to book your appointments, book your consultations, and to get in my program to be able to get your personal development and your holistic living. There is no personal development without holistic living. Okay, so y'all make sure y'all go check out my site and sign up on my site, www.mysupremewellbeing.com, and check out my YouTube. I'll leave the PDF of the infographic so y'all can have it and download it. Peace and wellness to the family.